All right. What is up, guys? Here we are with another trading recap. It is Tuesday, June 28th, 2022. Finishing the day up small green or small to decent green, small kind of base hit. $167 green. Traded three different stocks, AGRX, EVFM, and WEJO. Up 100 on two out of the three, and then small red on WEJO, which I shouldn't have actually even traded that stock at all, but that was just a pre-market trade that was kind of unnecessary. But so small green, which is okay. There wasn't much action pre-market, and then going into the open, we had AGRX, which was the best mover. From the open to the top was about a 50% move, so 55% move. Didn't capitalize on as much as I'd like, but I'm still happy with where I'm at on the day. Kind of had a little bit of trust issues here with AGRX. It was very choppy at the open. You had this huge pop and a drop, and then kind of crawling back up. So let's go through these trades first before I do anything else. So WEJO was my first trade pre-market. Crazy chart there. So here I pretty much just watched this breakout happen, and then I go in and start buying for the 90 MA bounce, get in at 162, and then it drops down to 156. So it's just instantly a $30 loss. I shouldn't even taken that trade. However, it was a larger float, so it wasn't even in my wheelhouse. But I did see kind of big volume coming in here pre-market for the breakout. I thought we'd see some sort of continuation or some sort of pop, but nope. And yeah, that was my only trade pre-market. I really should have stayed disciplined and not traded at all pre-market, but sometimes you just cannot help yourself. So WEJO down 32, and then we went over to EVFM. So I was trading this one first. I took the dip here and got about a 1 cent gain on EVFM on this first 1 minute candle. Then I bought back in at 147 for a potential move to the high, taking it off at 148. So only 1 cent gains, very small gains. And then it had a huge flush, which I got in down here at the bottom as it broke below this downward trend. I mapped out this channel here. So we have a pretty strong upward channel. And so I was thinking we'd see some sort of bounce off of this channel. So once it broke down pretty hard, so this was like a 15% sell-off in 4 candles. So I knew we had at least some sort of bounce, and it was around this support area of this ascending support area. So this was the area I was looking for, see what was going to happen. So we did dip down below, and then we reclaimed it a higher buying volume. That's where I started to buy for the reclaim up to the 90 MA. Took some profits there, went back in on a dip here, took profits again at 133, and kind of just traded the range here very nicely. And then we dipped down again to retest that ascending support. And then this candle came in, again, very strong. And I bought back in at 133.5 and then selling at 134 on this little pop. So just kind of scalping the range there was quite profitable. I was up, made about $100 on EVFM. And then here I was looking for a potential, so it ripped up reclaiming this ascending support. So I thought we'd squeeze out shorts more. So I got it in on this first red candle. Looking for a pop back over 144, maybe a break over 150, but didn't really work out like that. Took a scratch on that one. And that was EVFM, was able to take off $100, take out $100 from EVFM, and then so let's go to AGRX, which was the best one of the day. Didn't capitalize on this as much as I'd like. I a little bit over traded it. Here, this is all wacky. Like, I wasn't trading this at the open, but this thing rips up, then it dumps back over, and then had a nice, this was a nice like ABCD pattern, or like sort of, actually you could say a cup and handle. So you had the cup here, double top, almost a double top there, and then make that candle, and the 9 EMA held the 9 EMA, and that's your entry right there for the break of the high. And so here I took a 5-cent loss. I bought the dip too soon, and I thought I was going to get shaked out, and I sold at the low here. So I was all messed up there. And then it pops back up. I start buying at 192. Here is looking for now the break of 196. Again, taking a scratch on that one, then going back in at 193, taking another scratch. Did kind of stuff into this level. So I was a little bit concerned what I was going to do here. And then this candle comes in, and I was looking for the break of $2. I got a 2-cent gain there. Should have held. But then it rips more, and I jump back in at 213 and take a small loss. So it's a pretty sloppy trading that I'm looking at this. Then I go in for a dip buy here, but then I realize we're still kind of suspended off the 9 EMA, so I figured this is still kind of risky because it still could flush a little bit longer if the support doesn't hold, because there's very minimal support up here. But I did walk away with a 3-cent gain there on 1,500 shares, and then selling the rest for a 2-cent gain. Then here, trying to catch this breakout over this now 218 level. So I add in on this. This candle was green, and then it flipped red. It was like kind of like a double top. Took that off break even. I was in 2,500 shares. So that is pretty significant position, about maybe a little bit over $5,000. So that's definitely bigger size. If this would have ripped up and ripped another 10 cents up to 230, that would have been, say, a potential 15-20 cent win. That could have put me up $300 to $400 on the day, and that would have been a really solid day. But I was 1 minute too soon. This had a double top, and then this green candle came in, held the 9 EMA. 9 EMA pushed this up through that 218 level, and I was in here. This I took a scratch, and then I got back in late at 216, and then was able to get a 2-cent gain on 3,000 shares. That is really big share size. So I had really big share size today. So I was in 213, adding at 216, adding at 217, adding at 219. I had pretty big share size today, but I just did not have the conviction to hold for longer. I don't know what kind of spooked me on this stock, but something spooked me. I think it had to do with this open. It was really weird and really hard for me to trust the buyers on this. Here you had one. You had one here, then a dip, and then another test, and then a dip, another test, and then finally broke out a little bit. And then here again, it had struggled over this level. It had a false breakout here. So still kind of choppy. There's definitely a lot you could get caught in. Here I went for a dip, then looking now for like a scalp off the low. Then it ripped back up. Here I was able to get that out for a 7-cent gain at 235, and this was a false breakout. And then it bounces again back up to 244. I get back in looking for now the breakout up to 250, but it's a false breakout again. And then it starts rolling over and going backside, which is what I thought was backside actually. Here again, I think in trying to get that breakout, but now it's been what, 1, 2, 3, maybe 3 or 4 pullbacks. Definitely needs a 5-minute consolidation. So now it starts going backside. I try to do like a bottom dip here. I got maybe like 1.6 cent gain on that one. Not really even worth it. Probably shouldn't even traded that. Here again, we had a nice dip and rip, reclaim the 9 EMA. Only a 2-cent gain on 100 shares, but I was really looking for a bigger pop up to 250. But it was a little bit too soon. Pull back again more, and this is where I actually had a really good position. So I was in at 223, taking some profit at 226, adding back at 225, taking profit again at 226.6. Very small gains, kind of scalping the lows, and then I buy this what the heck? Whoops. And I buy this off the low at 216, literally the bottom of this candle. If I would have held that till the top of this breakout, wow, that was like a perfect entry. So 216, right on bottom tick this candle for an add or for a buy. Then I add again at 223, and then take my profits at 224. I thought this was going to reject the 90 EMA. At this point in time, before this candle came up, it didn't look like it would go and take another front side move. But I was definitely mistaken, and then I add back 20 cents higher. My classic mistake of not holding. I should have held some sort of position here, because now, you know, I'm adding at 241 and my risk is off because I'm adding so far high extended on the 1 minute. Didn't have any sort of pullback at this point in time. And we're running right into a significant resistance point, the previous high. So this is a risky add here at 241. If it did pull back and reject it with a double top, that would have been like a disaster. But I was able to, I only did 500 shares, scalped it for a quick 3 cents. Then you had that pullback, that 1 minute pullback, which I did kind of try to scalp off the lows, but I think I wimped out there. At this point, I'm not even really trading the chart anymore. I added too high again at 249, looking for the break at 250, but then I don't get a good fill on my sell. At this point in time, I'm trading my P&L, not trading the chart. This is a beautiful setup here, ABCD pattern. Huge. When you saw this volume come in this bullish engulfing candle coming up into this downward trend on the 1 minute downward trend here. Look for. Sure, you're going to want to add for the break back over for a starter. Take your starter at the break back over the 9 EMA. Add for the break of this trend, and then looking to add again on the break of the previous high. Or if you're even like more, have a lot of conviction, you could even add on this pullback after it was kind of like a false breakout. It broke out and then pulled back and then ran. So that was kind of tricky there. You had to definitely held your ground if you wanted that extra 20 cents to add back on this pullback, and then had that conviction to run higher. But this candle was getting bought up. And I do remember every time it dipped down, it get bought up, dip down, it get bought up. So that was definitely a good sign that did have some continuation in it. But I was on the sidelines. I got in too late again at 249. I should have had a position here. And then risking off the 9 EMA. Or risking off the break back below 235. So, I mean, not super happy with my performance. I did kind of start trading my P&L towards the end, and I didn't really hold it as long as I'd like to. I don't even know what my hold time was today. Let's see my hold time. I think it was bad. The hold time is one of the reasons why I actually have a bad, sometimes I have red days. See, today was a half a minute, so 24 seconds is my average hold time today, which is kind of like my average, my all-time average hold time for winning trades is the past, I guess we'll talk for the last 3 months, will be 31 seconds. So I only held 5 seconds less than I usually do. And you think 5 seconds is not a lot, but 5 seconds could be a massive move, 10 cent, 15 cent on some of these breakouts. I could have definitely walked away with some more money. And that's definitely one of the reasons why I do struggle sometimes getting green, is because I sell my winners too soon, and so my winners are so much smaller than my losers, and the accuracy, my accuracy isn't able to make up for that. And so that's why I ended up red. So I definitely need to keep that in mind every day, review that's what I need to work on, is holding my winners and adding to them instead of taking these small 2-3 cent winners. Even though they do add up at the end of the day, I think my biggest gain of the day was like a $40 winner. So I had a lot of small winners that did add up today. But if I want to have bigger profit at the end of the day, even bigger than what I'm getting now, is I have to be able to hold onto those winning trades. So that's it for me. I think that's everything that I traded. I didn't trade after 10 o'clock, 10:30. After this started to go backside, I just hit the gym and called it. I was a little bit tired. I didn't have much sleep past 2 nights. So my focus today was, I was a little bit tired today. So I got my coffee in. I actually slept in an extra hour today. So whenever I do have a bad night's sleep, I always make sure that it's okay if I sleep until like 8 o'clock instead of trying to get up at 6:45 if I'm not having a good night's sleep, because I would rather be well rested and be able to trade at the peak of my performance between 9:30 and 10 versus trying to get up at 6:45 with 5 hours or 4 hours of sleep, and then by the time it's 9:30 I've already had 2.5 hours of trading and I'm already kind of tired, and then once that peak time comes I'm not prepared for it. That's usually the worst times when I'm low on sleep. So I always say that it's okay to, if you're having a bad night of sleep, to sleep in a little bit longer than normal, because it's definitely better to sacrifice a little bit of that trading time to make sure that you are well rested and able to perform at your peak when you need to. So, and that time for me is between 9:30 and 10:30. So, and today I traded 9:30. I got up at 8. Didn't trade really pre-market except that one trade. Then 9:30 to 10:30 traded, and then I was done. No more trades. I didn't want to sit around here all day, and actually nothing else moved. You could have tried to get AGRX here, but I don't think it was that worth it. It could have broken out, but knowing me, I probably would have got caught in this false breakout or something. So glad I didn't trade in the afternoon. But hopefully tomorrow we get some better action than today. Maybe some more action longer. That's happening longer in the day. Something that consolidates and then rips up again for power hour. Oh, and we also get maybe a couple more tickers than we usually get that run 50 to 100%, because we only had one today on AGRX. It did give solid opportunity, and you really only need one. But it's not, the market's not the hottest. This was a 57 move, but 57% move. It did really give some good opportunity here. This was a nice pop. Could have got 10% there. Here, off of that potential entry, it's a 15% move. Here, off of this dip, back to the 90 MA, and then a run up. These would be my entries and exits. Ideally, would be, so potential 10% there, 10% there, 15% there. It could have been a good day. Definitely AGRX did give some opportunity. So hopefully we get something good tomorrow as well. So that's it, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the next day trading recap. All right, peace.